What's going on, Hangout Gang? Welcome to the Crypto Hangout Network. I'm your host, Crypto Cream, and I got some news for you guys today. But before we get started, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple iTunes, Amazon Music, or Pandora, slide on over to YouTube and subscribe to the Crypto Hangout Network. We do our live streams there, and you will be welcome to come and join us on our live streams and interact with the other members of the Hangout gang. All right, if you're listening on YouTube, watching on YouTube, and you're on the go, subscribe to us on your Apple Podcast, to the Metaspot Podcast, where we talk all things metaverse and all things NFTs, hottest NFT news, as well as subscribe to us on the Spotify network. Okay, just search the Metaspot Podcast or the Crypto Hangout Network, and it should pull up the Metaspot Podcast. Okay, and if you're into NFTs and want to know the NFT alpha, subscribe to our Patreon. Here, it's patreon.com/the Crypto Hangout. Okay, these provide all NFT alpha, what NFTs to buy that pay you passive income, what NFTs to be on the lookout, interviews with founders of NFTs, and more. So let's go ahead and dive into the news. Today we have crypto bills passed congressional committee and huge win for U.S. crypto. Two regulatory bills have been passed by the United States House Services Committee that could finally provide some much-needed regulatory clarity. A United States House panel has approved a pair of bills that could finally deliver some regulatory clarity to crypto firms, including clarifying the differences in jurisdiction between the U.S. securities and commodities regulators. On July 26, the majority of U.S. lawmakers voted in favor of the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, as well as the Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act. The House Financial Services Committee approved the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act in a 35-15 vote, which would establish rules for crypto firms on when to register with either the Commodities Future Trading Commission or the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission. Okay, and we have a tweet here from the Financial Services GOP, and they say here, passed in a historic first, the House Financial Services Committee just advanced the bipartisan fit for the 21st Century Act to protect consumers and provide clear rules of the road for the digital asset ecosystem. Up next, House AG GOP considers the legislation tomorrow, because that was a few days ago. All right. The Republican bill also outlines a process for firms to certify with the SEC that their projects are adequately decentralized, allowing them to register digital assets as a digital commodities with the CFTC. Republican Congressman French Hill, who also serves as the vice chairman of the House Financial Services Committee, said that he was proud the bill had passed its first hurdle and that it had been passed by the committee with bipartisan support. We have crafted landmark legislation that establishes robust consumer protections and clear rules of the road for the market participants while keeping innovation in the United States. Meanwhile, the bipartisan Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act, sponsored by Republican Congressman Tom Emmer and Democratic Congressman Darren Soto, aims to set out guidelines removing hurdles and requirements for blockchain developers and service providers, such as miners, multi-signature service providers, and decentralized finance platforms. Emmer praised the passing of the Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act as a huge win for the United States. And you have here Mr. Emmer in his tweet, it says, "This is a huge win for the United States as we are one step closer to putting Americans in the driver's seat and crafting the future peer-to-peer digital economy." Okay.
Mr. Emmer is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you.
And this is footage from them when they went to go and pass the
blockchain regulatory.
Emmer explained that the Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act specifies deals with what blockchain-related entities qualify as money transmitters in the United States. If passed in the House of Representatives, the bill will clear things up by affirming to the blockchain community that if you don't custody customer funds, you are not a money transmitter, Emmer added. Despite the passing of these acts, a number of Republicans and Democrats refused to support another proposed piece of legislation dubbed the Digital Asset Market Structure Bill. The Democratic Representative Maxine Waters condemned the bill for too closely heeding the cause of the crypto industry and ignoring regulatory guidance from the SEC. As I have said before, we don't need to invent new regulatory structures simply because crypto companies refuse to follow rules of the road. Our security laws have protected investors and retirees for 90 years while supporting capital formation and facilitating innovation, said Waters. Binance exits at least 3 European markets, prepares for MiCA. Binance has withdrawn from multiple European countries due to registration difficulties. The most recent country in question is Germany. Circumstances both in the global market and regulatory landscape led to the decision. Binance confirms that it has proactively withdrawn its BaFin application, a spokesman told Blockworks. Last month, the country's financial regulatory BaFin declined to grant a license to Binance, adding to the regulatory challenges the company is facing in the region, per Finance Forward. Jonas Junger, the managing director of Binance in Germany, reportedly said his primary focus was to successfully establish a branch of the company in the country, but he had mentioned that the regulatory prerequisites for accomplishing this goal were quite stringent. The company plans to reapply once it has addressed the alterations in the regulatory landscape. Additionally, Binance separately announced last month that it decided to exit the Netherlands. From July 17th onward, existing Dutch resident users no longer have the option to withdraw their assets from the platform. Any further purchases, trades, or deposits are no longer permitted. A company spokesman told Blockworks that Binance had made efforts to explore alternative ways to cater to Dutch residents while complying with local regulations. However, these attempts did not lead to the registration as a virtual asset service provider. Furthermore, Binance unit in Cyprus submitted an application to be delisted from the country's register of crypto asset service providers. According to a spokesman, Binance is working towards achieving compliance with the new European Union rule on digital assets called MiCA within the next 18 months. In light of this goal, the decision was made to scale back operations in Cyprus and concentrate efforts on a smaller number of regulated entities within the UE. The exits come at a time when Binance and CEO CZ are under scrutiny from U.S. regulators, facing lawsuits from the CFTC and the SEC. The allegations involve the alleged evasion of derivatives and securities rules. Recently, Binance announced its intention to file a motion to dismiss the lawsuit filed by the CFTC. Binance still has a presence in Europe. While its holding company is situated in the Cayman Islands, Binance's European headquarters are based in Paris, where it obtained registration from the French regulator AMF more than a year ago. The primary focus will now be on registered markets where it already has a mature presence, notably in France, Italy, and Spain. Elsewhere in the continent, it is also registered in Poland, Sweden, and Lithuania. Binance still intends to apply for appropriate licensing in Germany, Binance spokesman said, noted the revised submission will reflect significant changes in the global market and regulation. Golden State Warriors Steph Curry faced class action lawsuit from FTX investors. NBA's Golden State Warriors Steph Curry is facing a class action lawsuit over the collapse of FTX. The class action lawsuit claims that both the Golden State Warriors and Curry engaged in a conspiracy that substantially assisted and encouraged the wrongdoing conducted by the FTX group. The FTX group and defendants made numerous misrepresentations and omissions to plaintiffs and class members about the deceptive FTX platform in order to induce confidence and to drive consumers to invest in what was ultimately a Ponzi scheme, the lawsuit claims. They also claim that the Warriors did not disclose that they were being compensated by FTX for promoting the sale of unregistered FTX securities. The basketball franchise also allegedly had a financial incentive to induce plaintiffs to invest with FTX because it was an international rights partner. In 2021, the team announced a partnership with FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried's exchange started as the official cryptocurrency platform and NFT marketplace of the Golden State Warriors. In April 2022, the Warriors offered an NFT collection in partnership with FTX. Because the collection was minted on FTX, fans must have had an FTX US account to mint and participate in the one-on-one auction. In addition, the partnership with Shaquille O'Neal and Astral's NFT project he developed with his son Miles O'Neal required investors to have a funded FTX account in order to participate in the sale. Steph Curry, one of the stars on the team, notched a global ambassador deal with FTX in September 2021. The lawsuit claims that Curry was paid at least in part in FTX stock or stock options, the value of which depended on the financial success of FTX. Therefore, he had an incentive to promote the former crypto exchange. After FTX declared bankruptcy in November of last year, the Golden State Warriors axed their deals with FTX. The Golden State Warriors aren't the only sports team to be targeted in crypto-related lawsuits. Mark Cuban and his team, the Dallas Mavericks, faced a lawsuit from Voyager customers after the crypto lender declared for bankruptcy. The lawsuit also claims that Voyager was a massive Ponzi scheme. The suit alleges that the Mavericks and Cuban teamed up with Voyager and made false representations and other means of deception. As a result, Voyager plaintiffs and Voyager class members all sustained losses in excess of $5 billion. $5 billion. Curry has been mentioned in another class action lawsuit involving FTX, which was made infamous by Shaquille O'Neal after he managed to evade service for months before being served in the former FTX arena. Bitcoin, resembling 2019's market move, says Falcon X. Anticipating a crowded macroeconomic calendar, the crypto market has taken a slight dip, failing to maintain key resistance levels and resembling a trend from a bygone era. Major blue chip assets, Bitcoin and Ether, slid under the respective 30,000 and 2,000 thresholds on Monday, marking a 2.9% drop in total crypto market capitalization, which now stands at $1.2 trillion. Bitcoin and ETH were little changed over the past 24 hours, both down 0.3% to around $29,218.50. Both assets fell 3% and 2% respectively early in the week, their steepest losses in the last 10 days, data shows. The current market move resembles that of 2019, when the industry buzzing over potential developments while the broader markets grift the industry. The little attention, crypto prime brokerage Falcon X wrote in his weekly newsletter. Namibia pivots on crypto, will regulate, not ban. Digital assets with new law. A little less than 6 years after Namibia outlawed the exchange of virtual currencies, the country will this week pass a crypto bill laying out a local path forward for the industry. Following the president signing the bill in mid-July and additional procedural steps, Namibia's Virtual Assets Act of 2023 has officially become law. This law represents a significant departure from Namibia's long-held position on crypto. In September 2017, Namibia's central bank penned a paper arguing that based on its reading of 1961 law, it was illegal to establish virtual currency exchanges or engage in activities that provide or facilitate the conversion or exchanging of virtual currencies. The central bank took a slight step back from that stance in May 2018, saying cryptocurrencies may be used as a payment instrument to pay merchants on the internet for goods and services. It still said setting up cryptocurrency exchanges was illegal. Despite its softened stance in 2021, the central bank professed it wouldn't help the victims of crypto scams. 2 years later, the law Namibia endorsed will focus on protecting consumers and mitigating money laundering and terrorism financing risks. It intends to do so with the establishment of a regulatory authority that will be charged with supervising virtual asset service providers. According to the law, the authority has the power to license VASP, appointing inspectors for investigations and take enforcement action against license holders. VASP are a structure for overseeing financial entities that have been employed elsewhere, including the UAE. Firms are subject to different license classifications depending on their functions. There's a license for initial token offerings, virtual asset broker deals, wallet services, custodians, and advisory services. And this is big as more African countries are starting to adopt and accept cryptocurrencies and cryptocurrency regulatory laws for their people. Ripple, proof of concept by the Bank of England. On the Bank of England page, they wrote an article that says, we carried out a proof of concept with Ripple to explore the synchronized movement of two different currencies across two different real-time gross settlement systems linked using Ripple Connect and the Interledger protocol. We wanted to demonstrate how this kind of synchronism might lower settlement risk and improve the speed and efficiency of cross-border payments. Okay, so I wanted to bring that to you guys as well. And then we have some Twitter news. Twitter's want to act right. So we had Forbes article, and so back in Forbes did publish an article that's about Bitcoin. So it says Brad AI confirms Forbes published an article titled "The New Bitcoin is XRP" and is headed to $59,472, which was removed minutes later after being posted. Okay, so that was big news that I wanted to bring to you guys. And then we have here breaking news confirmed. Joint press conference between the Office of the President of the Republic of Palau and Ripple Labs on July 27th, which already happened. This will be the big reveal we've been waiting for. Palau stablecoin CBDCE currency running on XRPL using XRP. Insights inspired by, right here, preparing for a potential XRP pump that day, just days away now. Follow at Wall Street Bulls at W_the Jazz for that information. Right, and next we have at Matt187 says JP Morgan see here. Well, no, I'm sorry, Ripple. Ripple's potential vast and EMI license will be a game changer in the EU. And here's why, with real use cases. It says the VAPS license enables Ripple to offer services like cross-border payments, remittances, and financial services using XRP. Cross-border payments, imagine sending XRP to another country, exchange for local currency, faster and cheaper than traditional transfers. Remittances, migrant workers could send home XRP, exchange for local currency. Financial services, Ripple could offer XRP-based savings accounts, loans, and investment products. EMI license allow Ripple to issue electronic money, enabling businesses to accept XRP and users to hold e-money in digital wallets. And merchant services, digital wallets, businesses could accept XRP converted into e-money for further transactions or fiat currencies. Users could store, send, or receive digital assets and e-money. This could revolutionize the EU's digital economy, bringing crypto to the mainstream. And I agree. All right, that's going to bring the crypto to the mainstream, and XRP is going to be at the forefront. Now, this right here, August, September, is a big batch of financial institutions are migrating over to FedNow. Things are going to be done quietly in the background under NDAs. It will only be public after it's over. And this is courtesy of Chad Steingraber. As you can see, follow him. And let's see what this guy has to say. He's an ex-banker for the big banks in the United States. And I wanted to bring this to you guys. And what he had to say was
this is moving in terms of that happened here in July. There seems to be some indications that we could possibly hit the point of the wealth transfer beginning this month. I realize there's only 11 days left. That's not a lot of time. But at the movement that this is moving in terms of activity and what's being exposed, things could move very rapidly. What I do expect in terms of some of the historical assets and revaluation of currencies is that some of that will take place during the quiet time. In other words, when the EBS happens, there's going to be stay in your homes, there's going to be 10 days of communication blackout, or at least that's what we're hearing. And there could be during that time even appointments being made and transactions being done very quietly in the background. This will be all with heavy NDAs. No one's supposed to talk about their transactions, talk about where they get their money or anything like this. It's going to take some time to work through that. I think between now and let's say into September, maybe late September, so the next 2 months plus, we could be seeing those things take place in the background. I think by the time we get into late September, it's going to be publicly in the face of everyone, hey, there's a financial change occurring here. I hate putting dates to anything, and I want to just put a window out there. It is a 2023 thing, and this is all subject to change at any given day. So, if it doesn't happen tomorrow, well, don't freak out. It is unfolding, and it will happen. Some of the things that we've been seeing over the last week here is train derailments continuing. We've had 3 additional quite nasty ones